Hearthstone is a pretty old game. In fact, if we consider closed beta, the game has almost been out for 10 years. And yes, I do feel very old right now. What was I doing 10 years ago? I was playing League of Legends. So I guess you could say life got a little better, but I'm not telling you this to question your immortality. I'm telling you this because that means we almost have 10 years of custom cards behind us. Meaning, if we look hard enough, we can find the best custom card ever. Isn't that exciting? My favorite part of Hearthstone is not playing, it's looking at the new stuff. I love new cards. You guys probably love new cards too. It's probably why you're still here. Otherwise, what are we doing? We would just be playing classic. Here's what we're doing today. We're gonna be looking at custom Hearthstone, which is one of the most popular places for custom cards. If you didn't know, this is Reddit. I don't know if that speaks worse of me or you, but we'll figure that out later. On top of that, we will be looking at hearthstonecards.net, which is another really good place for custom cards. We have to set a couple of rules here. I am the deciding vote if a card is good or not. Look at me. I literally made Hearthstone with Rarran. On top of that, you guys will help me decide cards as well. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna look at the all-time best cards for both websites, which is extremely easy to do because we could just sort by all-time best. Once we find a card that we like, we will hold that as the king of the custom card hill until we find another card, which we will then vote to see if that card is better. The last card remaining for both websites will be the best card from each, and then we will vote on the final two. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Rarran, the top card is already the top card on both those sites. Yeah, but like that ruins the fun. So like, shut up. You might be asking yourself, what makes a good custom card, right? What's exciting? To me, the most important aspects are the flavor, the balance, and how fun it would be to have in Hearthstone. This basically encompasses, is the idea great or not? And I picked these three because I believe this is what the Hearthstone team does to decide if they should put a card in the game. So I'm gonna look up top all time. All right, this is our very first card. Who knew this old guy had a pet ant? 7 mana 5/7 Hunter Beast. When you cast a spell, add a kill command spell to your hand. This one is very interesting. Flavor wise, I don't know if it actually makes any sense, but I do like the play on words from Archmage Antonitis. In theory, for Hunter, this is funny. Like, this is actually a really funny card to look at. It's a meme, right? We'll start with the actual real one here. 3 mana 3/3 Sassy Huntress, neutral for Rostakon's Rumble. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to a minion. If that kills it, good. I was expecting something completely different. Flavor of this card, well done. 3 mana 3/3 for deal 1 damage to a minion is honestly not very good, but in Rostakon's, not the worst thing I've ever seen. Rostakon's was very weak. This will be our #1 card at the moment until we find something better. Scaling Drink, 2 mana for priest, draw a dragon, give it +1/+1 for each dragon in your hand. This is a phenomenal card. This fits the flavor of priest. The flavor is right in front of you, and balance wise, it's actually not that bad. Tutoring a dragon and then potentially giving a bit of bonus stats is really great. It could be a paladin card too. They're going for priest because of the this is from Galakron's Awakening, when priest did a lot of dragon stuff during that expansion. This is gonna be our #1 card for the time being. Not the joke in the comment. He's scaling. Pegasus Hopes and Dreams, 8 mana 8/8 neutral. Start of game, give all of your minions a random legendary entrance animation and sound effect. This card probably wouldn't see play because you're rooting the flavor of other cards. It's also extremely weak. Unfortunately, I don't think this is very good. They could do this for like a tavern brawl. I don't think this passes Sassy Hunter, so we're gonna move on. Blood Scent, 1 mana tradable card for warrior, rare, give a minion +1/+1 for each damaged minion. This is another pretty great card. This is another really good example of good flavor. Every damaged person gives you another Blood Scent, which means you get +1/+1. It's warrior. It fits right into the enrage package. We have to decide which card we like better. All right, people like the dragon card more, so we're gonna keep the Scaling Drake and move on. Surprise Attack, 0 mana for rogue, deal 2 damage, combo, don't. It's a rare. Honestly, really cool card. It forces you to play this first. It fits very in flavor with the rogue because, you know, you want to do a surprise attack first. So it's the anti-combo card. It's actually really cool. I like how it says don't. I wonder if with this, the combo means that you still get to play it, but it just doesn't deal any damage. Do you think this is better than Sassy Hunter? Okay, you guys think this card is better. Okay, so this is currently the best card here. On to the next one. As you could probably imagine, I went through a ton of custom cards for this video. So I'm not going to show every single card because that would take way too long. I'm going to mainly show you the highlights and the cards that actually contested the current reigning champion for both websites. Luraxian the Renouncer. So isn't Luraxian the guy from Paladin? I could be wrong. 6 mana 7/7 demon. Start a game. If your deck has no neutral cards, Renounce Darkness. For those of you who don't know Renounce Darkness is 2 mana to change your hero power and all your class cards to a random class, and those those cards cost 1 less. I think it makes sense, right? The flavor is actually really well done in this card. If Loraxian is a paladin-esque figure in Warcraft lore, this guy's renouncing his warlock ways to become something different. The fact that it is a start a game card means that it's actually better than it seems because you don't actually have to play this effect. It's right in line with the deck you want to do. Is it good? Probably not. Renounced Darkness was a little bit of a meme, and it probably will always be a meme. I kind of like it, chat. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Do a meme section to this so you can just put it in #1 somehow. No. As someone who's played Hearthstone for a very long time since closed beta, this card would probably be one of the most played cards of all time. This is a card I could see them printing in Hearthstone. Like, that's what I would say. Chat has spoken. Scaling Drink is gone. Misspelled. All right. 3 mana 2/4 battle cry. Discover a horribly misspelled card from any class. At the moment here, I really like the flavor. There's a lot of, oh my God, there's a lot of really interesting cards here. Thought Steal. All right, I really like this card. I'm gonna hold it down here, chat. This will never be a card in the game. Treasure Hunter Hooktusk. 7 mana 6/6 tradable. Battle cry. For each time you traded this, add a random fantastic treasure to your hand. I don't know if they're gonna show it. The fantastic treasures, I believe, are like 3 mana, draw 3 cards from your deck. They're 0. Fill your hand with the next card that you draw. I want to speak out most importantly about the flavor of this card. You might have noticed that I am an absolutely huge fan of flavor when it comes to a custom Hearthstone card. And that is because I believe this is the hardest part of making a great card. When you have a really cool effect, but you just staple it to a generic body, it doesn't feel complete. But when you get the flavor right, it makes the card come alive.
Let the pain speak to me.
I really like it. They're a pirate. They're constantly looking for treasure. They probably trade their treasure. That's the whole point of the tradable effect. Really like the design of this card. Maybe this card might need to be a little bit weaker. I think maybe 8 mana is a little bit better. You would play this on turn 8 and get a bunch of treasures if you're ahead, and it'd be really, really good. Each trade is 1 mana. Good point. You know what? 7 mana makes sense. Yeah, you're right. 100%. You're also drawing with the trade. It's not like you're just spending 1 mana for nothing. You're getting a cycle every single time you do it. Is it better than Loraxian? Imagine getting 5 draw full hand. Yeah, but that's the risk you take. Think about how cool that is in flavor wise, right? You don't know what treasure you're gonna get when you go treasure hunting. You have no idea. The people have spoken. This card is now the lead. 2 mana warrior card. Too long, didn't read. Draw 2 minions, replace their card text with taunt. Okay, hold on. Now we got a real contender here. That's actually really cool. In classic, drawing 2 minions for 2 mana is insanely good. How good is it if you replace them with taunt? The flavor here is really good. There are some really good cards with this though, right? Like, you wouldn't mind doing this with Yeti. This one is 100% with the pull. I like the deck building aspect around it too. It's fun to play with. It's fun to play against. It doesn't feel like you'd be necessarily broken. Is the balance a little too good? Do you guys think it's better than Surprise Attack? This is the new top contender, chat. This is it. Breakout Buddy. 3 mana 3/3 neutral card. Haunt. Cost 0 if you control a dormant minion. Ooh. And it's for Ashes of Outlands, which is key because a lot of dormant minions were summoned, printed during that set. That's really interesting. This could be straight up printed. It'd be really good with maybe the Fell dude. God, I love the flavor of this card. It's so cool. Why would she have taunt? She has taunt because she is distracting her guard so the buddy can escape. Card looks like it more should have rush instead of taunt. Taunt makes a little bit more sense because she's the distraction. Yeah, that makes sense. This card could be very good. It should probably be cost 1 if you control a dormant minion. I think the problem with this card is it might be just awful to balance because you're gonna have blowout turns too early on. How do you balance this card while still making it playable? Because it's mana cheating so early on, and it would probably be played in Hunter with that card at the time, it'd be really annoying to play against. I feel like it's not worth our time. I pray for the right answer. 0 mana paladin spell. Last resort rare. Discover anything is really interesting. There is a lot of garbage in Hearthstone. Usually the problem with a card like this, the variance is too wide. It's actually really bad. Like, it's a really bad card. For flavor wise, it's fine. I'm not against it. I think it's really unique. To discover other class cards, I would imagine based on the wording it would. Wave Forming. 3 mana frost spell for mage. Add a 3/6 water elemental to your hand if an enemy is frozen. Also summon one. It's a slow card. I like the flavor. You can kind of manipulate this a little bit though. Let's just imagine for the most part here, it's gonna be like 4 mana to summon a 3/6 and get another 3/6 in your hand. I think this is actually a really well designed card. The more I think about it, I think I like it a lot. You have to use another card to get another card back, but you do summon a 3/6 elemental on turn 3, which could be very good. I'm gonna add a little bit of an interesting thing to this card that I just thought of, okay? This card's awesome because usually with waves, one comes after another. So if you play this card and then you get a water elemental and you have another one in hand, you freeze something else and you get another wave. I think in terms of flavor, that is phenomenal. Intended though. We'll keep Hooked Us for now. This isn't actually a custom card. This is more just the art of the card itself, what Hearthstone could be doing. Dude, banger. Oh, this is 10 out of 10. We need this in the game. This is what they should be doing. This is amazing. Oh my God. Fun fact for you. Actually, I'll say it after. 3 mana 5/5 Tomb Ranger Reborn Battlecry Dive. Now, some of you might know this. They made this card in March of the Lich King. This is actually made from the guy who is currently on the design team. This is from Leo. This was made 4 years ago. Only difference of this card is that it has 4 health, I believe, instead of 5. I feel like I should just veto this card because it's already in the game. I feel like that's cheating. Veto my nuts, Rarran. What the hell up? All right, you guys are saying veto this. Okay. Through the Water Lilies. This is a nice and simple effect. I like it a lot. 1 mana shaman spell with nature, dredge, restore health equal to its cost. Very nice design. Very clean, very easy to understand. Love the dredge mechanic. It fits very nicely into Voyage into the Sunken City. Flavor is pretty much on point with this card. This is very well done. How is this not a real card is a very good question. It can't be 0 mana because it's not a druid card. It's so easy to just put this into the game. Hook Tusk is actually dethroned. I am extremely surprised from this outcome. I can't believe it, but we're moving on. 1 mana hunter spell, Amazon shipping. In 2 turns, draw 2 cards. It's not very flavorful in terms, well, I mean, actually it is pretty flavorful. It's still Amazon shipping. It makes sense. You're getting things by boat. It has that additional little like wink at the audience because of Amazon Prime. Would this card see play at 1 mana? It probably would, wouldn't it? It seems very strong. Even if you draw this later in the game, it's probably fine. You put this in a deck that requires more burn, you play it maybe in 2 turns, it's the difference of you getting lethal or not. People are saying it's not better than Ogre. We'll see how long Ogre stays here. Naxxramas as a location. Guys, can I get a bunch of Nax out in chat? Naxxramas. 2 mana location card. It is a legendary location. That's kind of spicy. Destroy a friendly minion, draw a card. Death Rattle, resurrect all friendly minions that you've killed. That's really interesting. I'm gonna assume the flavor of Naxxramas makes a little bit of sense here, right? But the resurrecting with Kel'Thuzad, isn't that where Kel'Thuzad's from? The wording here is a little weird because it says resurrect all friendly minions that you killed. It should probably say resurrect all friendly minions that this killed. If that's the intent he's going for the location to give you the minions that that this killed, I kind of like it. Also draws you a card. It's really good. I like that it's legendary. It's right into Warlock. It takes a long ass time for this to break though. To use this every other turn, this would proc on what, turn 8? Turn 8 to get a bunch of minions that are probably not that great for card draw. I think this is great. This is a very strategic card. There's a lot of thinking that goes on with this card. Some really good cards on here. Holy crap. All right, we're on the Naxxramas train. Charming Butterfly. 1 mana 0/1, neutral beast, battle cry, and 8 turns destroy all minions. What the hell? This is probably broken. The UI thing of this would be horrible to play against, right? Because it's like, it would have to go dormant or something on your board, but it is the butterfly effect. You're right. The flavor is there. Is this card fun to have in the game? It should be a legendary. You're entirely right. It should be a legendary. This effect is very unique. It should only be 1. Oh, imagine having 2 of these. You play this turn 1 into turn, no, yeah, we're moving on. Ice Howdy, 99 mana, 8/8 partner, costs 1 less for each greeting emote used this game. All right, I think it's safe to say we could just skip this one. Dr. Merkenstein, okay, 6 mana, hero card for Shaman, Boomsday Project. Seems like that's important for the flavor of this card. Battle cry, summon a 4/4 Merkenstein's monster. Your hero power becomes Murgology. 2 mana hero power, discover a Murloc. After a friendly Murloc dies, refresh this. And this is what your monster looks like. 4 mana 4/4, Death Rattle, go dormant. After 3 friendly Murloc dies, this awakens Murloc. Okay, in terms of flavor, I really like it. I think it's cool. It's a fun card. 6 mana to summon a 4/4 monster. Does it have rush? Sorry, it does not. This is a very slow effect. Hero power is fine. You're discovering a Murloc every single turn. For the most part, it's fine. So the problem with this card theoretically is that it it limits design of Murlocs in general, right? Because if this card's in the game, you have to be very careful about what neutral and shaman Murlocs are showing. But like you're trading so much tempo for value that I almost think it's fine. Also, it has to be a Murloc that dies to refresh this. Honestly, I think this card is fine, chat. The more we talk about this card, it's so slow. It's such a ridiculous win condition. But if you're gonna go for the control Murloc shaman dream, this is probably fine. Like it's something that will take a long time to get going, and you probably put this into a Murloc shaman deck, and I guarantee even a Murloc shaman deck, you probably don't even want this card. Talking about this as if it comes out in the Boomsday, because I think the flavor is very relevant to Boomsday, right? Muteness would not be in the game when this would be printed. Lightbow, sorry. 1 mana 0/3 for hunter, add 3 arrows to your hand. Each arrow is give your weapon +2 attack this turn. That's kind of interesting. So it's like you add arrows to your bow, therefore you get more damage. Flavor's right in front of you, right? Each arrow gives you more damage. It is 4 mana mana to deal 6 damage. You have to spend the mana to put the arrows on, right? I think this card's pretty balanced too. It's more flexible. All right, surprisingly, chat thinks that this is a better card than Ogre. This is weaker than this card for sure. Flavor-wise, I think it's really well done. You guys voted for this. I think this is a really cool card. Wormrest Imperator. 3 mana, 3/4 for mage. Rare Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, your next fire spell costs 3 less. Oh my god, that's so good. It's so clean. Flavor's so great. You're telling your dragon to fire something. It might be too good out of 3/4. This is a vote. We have to vote this one. This one, I'm not even gonna discuss this one with chat. It's too clean. It's too clean. Supports a slower archetype with dragons. Is it better than Axe? All right, Wormrest Imperator is the new card. Fetcher Pup. 2 mana, 3/2. Fetcher Pup. Rare. Battlecry. Restore 1 durability to your weapon. It's a beast. Oh my god, that is so cool. This flavor is amazing. It's like, oh, you go tell your dog to get you one of your arrows. I love that. Is this too broken? For classic, this is very broken. We could stop here. But here's the thing about this card is you don't play this until you have a weapon equipped. And you have to have already swung with your weapon because it's restore. It's not give it durability, right? I have a feeling the dog's gonna win. I can see why this is so high up on the list. If you don't have a weapon equipped, this is a 2 mana, 3/2, and you would have to play this after you play a weapon. You guys seem to agree. The dog is number 1, chat. Belgrove Keeper. 2 mana, 2/2 for Demon Hunter and Druid. It's a rare. Choose one, give your hero +2 attack or immune this turn, outcast, do both. This is sick. Listen, the flavor of this card is phenomenal. What we've seen from Illidan and like the interaction between Malfurion, it's amazing. Why is this card not balanced? Druid attack, so does Demon Hunter. The immune effect is from Demon Hunter, but I think it's fine for Druid this turn. It doesn't say this turn. Give your hero +2 attack. I see. The wording here is the problem. Turn applies to both. It's just ambiguous. No one has said anything about this spectacular card. It is, after all, the best card ever made. I think it's really well done. Very simple, very clean. The wording could be a little cleaner, but for the most part, it fits the vibe of both classes. Chat, is it worth the poll? God damn, these last 2 cards are really well done. Oh my god, they're both so good. I will agree with chat unless I'm not gonna veto it unless it's absolutely necessary. Clever Sales Goblin. 2 mana, 1/2. You're holding a dragon. You played an elemental Esther. I might be stupid here, but can someone explain this to me? It activates synergy. Oh, I see. Oh, that's really interesting actually. 2 mana is a little weak. It would have to be like a 1 mana, 1/2 to see play. Thought the dog was gonna go longer, man, but I actually think this is goated. See flavor text, understand? Just tell them what they want to hear, kid. Yeah, no, it's dude, it deserves to be an epic card. I think it has to be 1 mana. I think at 2 mana, it's not playable. I love the deck building aspect of this. I think it's really cool. As much as I like the goblin, okay, I know you guys voted for it. I'm gonna go with the dog. I think the dog is still just a better design card. There's too many people in chat, including me, that didn't understand what this card was. As much as we could reword it, if I'm coming into Hearthstone and I read this card with no explanation, I wouldn't understand what it means. This card is really cool. I can see why people outvoted this so highly. My bottom line here is I could see this pupper being put into the game. I don't know if I would see this card being printed in its current state, that is. Dark Lurker Foom. 3 mana, 3/4 for Shaman, another Murloc legendary. Start of the game, if all minions in your deck are Murlocs, enter Fin form, get a hero power. 2 mana, add a random Murloc to your hand. I love it. It's like everything that Murloc Shaman wants. The 3 mana, 3/4 Murloc, it's fine. It gives you the additional resources. How often do you want to play totems on the board as Murloc Shaman? Probably never. Fin form, I don't really know what Fin form is. Most of the time, you're not hitting this button on turn 2. You're not gonna hit it on turn 3. You're gonna have Murlocs to play anyways. This is like your late game assurance to hopefully have enough Murlocs to finish off a game. I don't think it's better than the other card though. I'm gonna just pass. 3 mana, 2/5 neutral legendary, a minion. Cards that affect a minion affect this instead. Look as an example. So normally this card would say combo draw a minion, but it would draw a minion, not a minion. Honestly, really interesting design card here, man. It's so funny. So silly, man. Is it good? Look at the golden animation. Where do I see that? That's sick. They wouldn't make a card like this, but it's pretty funny. Heartbroken Troll. 3 mana, 3/4 counts as damage even at full health. So this card should say this is damaged even at full health. Flavor. Beautiful. Balance wise, honestly, probably more than okay. It's really cool because one of the things that Warrior within Rage Warrior is your minions have to be damaged. This card, even though it is a sad card, I think it's just really interesting, isn't it? It's like a guaranteed damaged minion that you don't have to damage. It's fun to play with and against. It should be an epic. I would agree with that. It should be an epic. It can't be healed because it's damaged emotionally. There's a lot of like interactions with this card that's really cool. The comparison to the dog is only gonna get harder as we go up in the list. I'll take the chat vote. All right, let's move on. Captain Black Sparer. 5 mana, 3/2 neutral legendary pirate. Battlecry, give a minion -1/-1. Destroy all minions with less attack than this. This is sick. What an interesting design, man. Why is this -1/-1? So the -1/-1 is like, let's say there's a minion on board that's 3/3 and this is 3 attack. You play this, you make it have 2 attack and then it would kill it. And it makes sense, right? I'm guessing it means like they're sparring, right? Like it's a pirate that's fighting pirates like in combat. Because he's weaker, he would win. It might be more appropriate for this to be in warrior. I'm surprised Hearthstone hasn't made a card like this. Give a minion -1/-1. Goodbye, Felgrove Keeper. You lasted for a very long time. Arcane Barrier. 3-mana mage spell. Rare. Deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. Gain that much armor. Oh man, this is so good. Inherently is not that strong, right? It's not inherently broken, but it could be so good depending on what you pair this with. It's also very dependent on how many minions your opponent has. There's a lot of back and forth with this card and it makes it so special. It's another AoE with mage. Makes total sense. 7 armor for 3 mana. Dude, think about how often at turn 3 or something your opponent's gonna have that, right? It's so dependent on the metagame. It's a card you think about when you put it into your deck. You want damage to all enemy minions? Hey, yeah, this guy made this card. I think it's great, man. Flavor, it makes total sense too, right? Defensively, it makes sense with mage. They have AoEs. All right, this is the new winner. Normal human man. If he sounds a little strange, it's just because he has a frog in his coat, throat. 3 mana, 1/3. Death Battle summon 3/1/1 Murlocs. Flavor wise, spot on. It's so funny. Balance wise, I think that's pretty fair. You gotta be a little careful with Murloc synergy. Murloc aggro decks love this card. Should it have the Murloc tag? No, it shouldn't have the Murloc tag on this. If I play this on turn 3 and I have a way to abuse the 3 Murlocs that are coming out of the board, should it have more health so you can't do the death battle as easily? That's the logic behind it, right? Balance wise, like it's probably fine, but you have to be a little scared of like, what are the Murloc synergies that go with this? This is a cool card because it fits the Murloc archetype without being a Murloc. Also, flavor wise, it's phenomenal, right? It's such a great idea of a card. This is a really good card. Is it better than the puppy? At the moment, it's looking like it is. By the puppy, I stand. Man, the dog's lasted for so long. It's tough, man. I'll go with chat. I'll go with chat on this one. I think this is a really good, well-designed card. Goblin Mine. 1 mana, 1/2. Warlock. Common. Turn to your hand the next card you discard. It should say the next card you discard, return it to your hand. Something like that. Goblin Mime. Nuts. Nice. Nice. Why is it a mime though? It's a mime because it's pretending that to have discarded your card. Ah, see that. I'm really glad I asked chat. Another banger here, man. To be honest, this is sick. Someone who really likes Warlock, this is a card I would dream to have in the game. Probably a little too good, depending. I think at 1 mana, I think it would be okay. Wild is a different story, but flavor makes sense. Perfect for Warlock. Gets into an archetype that needs help. We're getting to the point where like a lot of these cards are going to be insane. I love cards like this because you think about your deck when you're building it, right? It's not just like, here's good cards, let me put them in. It's like, is this card worth running because I need to get the card back that I might discard? What happens if you discard multiple cards at once? It'd probably pick the leftmost card in your hand. I love it, chat. It seems like you guys agree. Storm Strain. 3 mana shaman spell. Rare. Nature. To draw 2 cards. If you have overloaded mana crystals, draw 1 more. Whoa! Shaman with this card would become pretty great. It's Arcane Intellect with a bonus effect. Might be a little bit of an issue for Shaman because I feel like they don't want to print draw for Shaman too liberally. But man, it should almost be draw 1 card. If you have overloaded mana crystals, draw 2 more. Just so it's not you put this in every single deck because it's 3 mana draw 2. Like you would have to kind of build around it, especially because it's nature. It would be ran in every Shaman deck. Like this would be a must play card. In a vacuum, way too powerful. It's another card where you sit here and you're like, damn, like this could be in the game. And I think because of that, this deserves a vote. Would you auto include it? The thing is that Shaman doesn't have the same draw as Mage does, which is why I think in Shaman, this card would be ran in every single deck because Shaman's draw sucks donkey. That being said, I really like it. I think the flavor's there. This card as is too broken. Your mother. 5 mana 10/10. This minion takes up the whole one. If it didn't have your mother at the top, I actually think this card would be like one of the more interesting cards they could put into the game. How interesting would it be to have a minion that takes up every single slot on the board and has just an absurd stat line like this? 5 mana 10/10. That's pretty great. I realize the joke, chat. Your mother is a Murloc, but this card would never get printed like this. I'm so fat. The corpse kind of breaks after she dies. I don't care what the stream decides. It's officially the best card of the site. True. Your mom is so fat. Altanathrius Pigs Hitter. That's your mom has mana thirst 21. Your mom is so fat she needs 4 runes to be played. Oh my god. One of these days we'll just have to go through all their mom jokes. I'm gonna pass it. 9 mana 3/15. The Living Mountain. Elemental. Taunt. This minion takes 4 spaces on the board and isn't destroyed by destroy effects. What is a destroy effect? The thing about this card is that this is an OTK if it lives 1 turn. Really interesting idea, but if you're behind at all and this card is played, you lost the game and that feels miserable. It's very scary. It's probably not balanced, is it? I feel like the wording is a little weird. The fact that we're having a discussion, what does it mean to have destroy effects, right? Because it's an elemental, very spooky. Like, could you cheat it out as an elemental? What does that mean for the future of elemental design? In its current state, I don't think it's even worth a discussion. Molecular Farseer for Shaman, 1 mana, 1/3 rare elemental. Battle Cry. If you play an elemental next turn, draw a card. It's right into the elemental package. Very balanced. It's a 1 mana, 1/3 elemental, which we've seen in the game before. But on top of that, if you get the advantage of playing an elemental next turn, you draw a card, so it replaces itself. Elegant design. They would obviously change the art a little bit. Flavor of this card fits so nicely because it's Farseer, right? Like you're thinking into the future. It's not you're thinking into the past. Not sure why it's molecular. Looks like it's gonna be the Farseer card. Coral Armorsmith, 3 mana, 3/4 warrior rare Naga. Battlecry, gain 2 armor for each spell you've cast while holding this. I love this card. What the hell? This is great. I don't even need to go through this. This is just phenomenal. Like in terms of flavor, it makes total sense. It fits the warrior theme. It looks like a Naga that would give you protection, which is great. It has the spell vibe with the Naga. 3 mana, 3/4, not a great stat line, but the fact that it could potentially give you a ton of armor is great. Really surprised this card was not printed. Maybe it was too broken. We got a new boy. It makes you think about your deck. Can you draw the Naga fast enough? I love it. I think it's great. If your opponent concedes on their next turn, add 10 gold to their account. Could I trade you a rank, chat, for 10 gold? This would be abused, like with bots and stuff. Rarran, you're still hot. Thank you. Thank you, Rarran Poggers. I appreciate it. 3 mana Alchemist Recipe's nature spell for Hunter. Discover 2 secrets. Cast a secret with the condition of the first one and the effect of the second one. Whenever secret when an enemy minion attacks, summon an animal companion. Oh, I see. Dart Trap plus Freezing Trap wouldn't work. We can't even put it up to a vote, chat, to be honest with you guys, because this card has too many issues, right? We have done Reddit, we have done hearthcards.net, and we have come with the top 2 cards. One from Reddit, one from hearthcards.net. In chat, you guys will have to pick one. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to make the vote biased. Based on your voting, Coral Armorsmith is the victor. I'm not going to say what card I think is better. I think they're both great cards, which means I'm going to leave the voting up to you guys. Let me know what card you think is better and with a comment down below, and I will try to get a grand total to give you guys an answer. I hope you had a lot of fun watching this, and if you did, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription.